Karnataka, which looked like it wore a saffron-clad armor in 2019, now looks like a mix of a clear blue morning sky and the evening sunset sky. It seems like the double-engine leaders of Karnataka, Siddaramaiah and DK Shivkumar, have surfed through the wave of the assembly election success and tore away a significant chunk from the saffron armor. Several fresh candidates were given tickets by the BJP this time around as well. As you can see, like I said, if you look at this picture here, you can see how half of it is now saffron and the rest of it has turned to blue. And the saffron also includes the green of Janata Dal, JDS, which is led by Kumaraswamy. They won 2 seats as well. If you look at the power map here, you can see how Karnataka looked after the Lok Sabha election in 2019 and then how it looks now in 2024. You can see why I called it a saffron-clad armor and how now it looks like the blue sky and the sunset sky as well. This is because in 2019, as we have said in the previous videos as well, the NDA had 26, or rather BJP had 26 seats from Karnataka, while Congress only had 1 and there was one other independent candidate who won. In 2024, on the contrary side, the number for BJP has come down to 19 and has actually come down to 17, which with the NDA and 2 other seats from JDS comes up to 19. Whereas Congress has had a significant jump, jumping from 1 seat to 9 seats this time around, and which is why this is the color right now. If we look at the vote share of this election and what happened in Karnataka, you can see how Congress gave a neck-to-neck fight to BJP. Even though the seats are quite far away, even though the total seats is 16 to 9, you can see with the vote percentage how Congress had 46% and BJP has 52%, or rather the NDA has 52%, which is really close. And you can also say that BJP actually is sort of lucky that they've gone about and gotten 16, or rather NDA has gotten 18 or 19 seats this time around. Now, if we are going to talk about the key candidates this time around or the key constituencies, we can let's start with the biggest one that has been in the news for quite some time now, around 1 month, which is Hassan. Why is it so famous? Because the incumbent MP there, Prajwal Revanna, who is now suspended as well, he broke into the limelight of the national scope with this sex scandal that happened. Prajwal Revanna got caught in a sex scandal where he was seen or allegedly seen molesting and harassing several women, not just 1 or 2, several women. And as soon as this broke out, he had left the country, he had fled the country, or speculations say that he fled the country with his diplomatic passport and landed in Germany. Even though it had passed over 30 days, he had refused to come back until his grandfather and the national president of JDS, who was also in alliance with the BJP, warned him to come back, saying that the family would disown him if he doesn't. So once he came back, he was immediately taken into the custody. He was immediately arrested and has been in custody of the SIT ever since. When we talk about the constituency, even though the scandal had not broken out during the time of the voting, it seems like the wave was already flowing towards Congress, because Congress's Shreyas Patel won with in a very comfortable manner, I would say. He had also shown a lot of scope. People were actually looking towards him, seeing him as a potential candidate to represent them as a member of the parliament. Now, moving on to the next constituency, we can go to Bengaluru Rural. So what's special about Bengaluru Rural? Known to be a bastion for Congress, it was shocking, to say the least, when DK Suresh, brother of DK Shivkumar, the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, had to face defeat. And to whom? He had to face defeat to Dr. Manjunath, the son-in-law of JDS leader Deve Gowda, who contested with a BJP seat, which is interesting, and earned a commanding victory. DK Suresh had held the constituency since 2013. And it was almost 10 years since he had held this constituency, which is why it had become sort of Congress's bastion. But yet, CN Manjunath, who has a clear name, doesn't have a lot of political background, but earn the goodwill of the people of the constituency, managed to defeat him with quite a significant margin. So the next important constituency from Karnataka during this Lok Sabha election was Mysuru. Why is this interesting? It was because this time around the king or the Maharaja of Mysore decided to contest the elections, and he was contesting it from a BJP ticket. Another interesting fact is that Mysuru was a BJP bastion, I would say, because for the last 2 terms it was Pratap Simha who was the member of parliament there, who was representing the constituency, and it came as a shock when BJP decided to not give him a seat but choose Yaduveer Krishnadatta Chamaraja Wadeyar to represent them in these elections. But then again, it seems like it was a fair move right now, given the way how several of the MPs or the incumbent MPs have been defeated. So the Maharaja was going up against Congress's M. Lakshman, and it seems like he managed to secure the victory in a very comfortable fashion, and it shows how the people of Mysuru and Kodagu, to say, had this hope or faith in their king. Now, the next constituency is Chamarajnagar. So, what's so special about this constituency? In 2019, BJP's Srinivasa Prasad had grasped the victory at a margin of just 1,817 votes. Well, it seems like BJP hasn't carried that luck into the constituency of Chamarajnagar this time around. Congress's Sunil Bose defeated S. Balraj this time around and maintained his lead quite consistently as the results rolled out through the day. Now, the next constituency is Bengaluru Central. Bengaluru Central is this one example of a bastion that has remained with the BJP, but how is the question? Well, it seemed like it was going to be a little tricky for the incumbent MP there, PC Mohan, as he was trailing behind Mansoor Ali Khan from Congress for quite some time. It was only at the end of the polling did we get to know that PC Mohan had actually won this election and managed to secure a 4th term as the Member of Parliament from Chamarajnagar, from Bengaluru Central. But it seems like the winning margin had been cut down in half when compared to 2019 elections. Well, this certainly seems like it is a warning to the incumbent MP. Now, the next constituency is Bidar, sort of the geographical crown of Karnataka. This is another instance of a 2-time MP from Bidar who faced defeat. Contesting from Bidar once again, Bhagwant Kuba faced defeat at the hands of Sagar Ishwar Khandre with a margin of almost 1.3 lakh. With this defeat, BJP had to let go of the geographical crown of Karnataka. Well, that's the story of Lok Sabha constituencies of Karnataka from 2019's dominance to 2024's turnaround. Is it the exceptional success story of Congress and the Jodettu Siddaramaiah and DK Shivkumar? Or is it the failure of BJP and its turbulent graph at a state level in the last few years? Or does this just mean that Modi couldn't charm his way into the hearts of all the Kannadigas like he did last time? You let us know what you feel about this in the comments below. I am Sanjay Ponnappa and you are watching India Today So South.